Hello and good morning. First off, I want to remind everyone that we're having Weed with Words along with the Auntie playlist tonight on Patreon at 9 p.m. Be there or be square. But now, I want to have a true moment to talk about Kandi and Todd. Squatter or smarter? If I was Todd Burris, if I was Todd Burris, I would walk into that courtroom, wheel out a television like it was a rainy day in school and the teacher just wanted to put her head down, and play the clip of the reunion when she was arguing with Marlo and said, if I wanted to take care of every mother in here, I could. I would use that as exhibit A. I'm like, oh no, here she is all dressed up saying it for the world to hear. However, why isn't Todd leaving the marital home, especially when he has an apartment in New Jersey that we all know about? Well, I'm here to tell you Georgia law. That's why. Georgia law. So Candy's decided to get out here and act like he's squatting when in Georgia you definitely have a strategic decision to make about staying in the home. Financial stability and child custody hinge upon it. While Georgia is an equitable distribution state rather than a community property state, the status quo carries significant weight in Fulton, DeKalb, or Gwinnett County courts. Fulton County court documents. It always comes back to you. Establishing the status quo for custody. If children are involved, Georgia judges prioritize the best interests of the child as the standard. Moving out inadvertently can create a new status quo where the other parent is the primary caregiver. By staying, you maintain your daily role in the children's lives, which prevents the other spouse from claiming you abandoned the home or abandoned the routine. Also, Candy's in New York right now, so yeah, squatting, whatever. He's also like, how are you squatting but watching your kids? How does that work? I don't know. That was a little confusing for me. Abandonment claims. While moving out of the house is not legal desertion, in a way that forfeits your right to the asset, and it can be framed as a voluntary abandonment as the marriage. And in a contested divorce, a spouse might use your departure to argue for temporary or exclusive use of the home, potentially locking you out for months or years while the case proceeds. Financial leverage and buyout control. If you leave, you may still be court ordered to pay the mortgage, status quo payments, while also paying for your own new apartment. This double housing can drain your legal fund. And the buyout advantage. It is often easier to negotiate keeping the house if you are already living there. If you move out, your spouse may become more entrenched, making it harder to force a sale or negotiate a buyout later. Now, this is the sticky situation that happens when you marry someone and move into their previously owned property. Isabel, that's a fact. Todd's trying to get his coin. I don't think he's trying to quote unquote get his coin. I think I don't think Todd was paying all those bills anyway. I don't think Todd like I don't think Todd was not financially contributing to the household. I don't. I don't believe that. I believe Todd was paying bills every month. What has happened is Candy is going to keep the marital home. Todd has lived there for 11 years. Now it's the issue of okay, how much have I spent on lawn care? How much have I spent on other forms of upkeep. How much have I spent on taxes? How much have I spent on renovations? Because Candy is not the type to let no man live free. I don't believe that. I believe they had, like, she was like, okay, I got that. Like, she didn't get the house, like, ridiculously expensive. She got it out in foreclosure. She said she got it on sale. So they figured out whatever he was going to pay. He's paid something. He's paid something into that home. I refuse, like, although if she was letting him live free, then he ain't squatting. The status quo hasn't changed. If you was playing sugar mama behind the scenes, well, it's about to come to the surface. If you was playing sugar mama behind the scenes, don't get to whining in court now. I don't want to hear it, and neither does the judge. But I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true. I don't think anybody's showing true colors. I think we're just listening to lawyers. But the issue is, why hasn't she bought him out? Candy, you got plenty of money. Whatever he has put into that house over the 11 years plus appreciation, that's what the judge is going to say. That just happened with Ralph and Drew. That's why Ralph did not leave the house, because I'm not paying into this joker for 11 years and not having shit to show. So no, this is your house now. You take care of the upkeep. You pay the gas bill and all that. I'm just here to take care of my kids and until we get this divorce settled. So let's, you want to call it rent, take it out of my equity. We got 11 good years of it. Let's figure that out. My peace is everything. Candy wanted a husband and Todd wanted money. And the thing is, if Candy, purchased a husband, then you got to pay out at the end. So what's all the whining for? Either he did contribute and it's like, okay, well, buy him out if you want him to leave. That's what rich people do. They will cut that spouse a check for what they've contributed into that house so damn fast. Be like, here you go. Here you go. 11 years worth of money. Here you go. Because that's what's going to happen in court. So you could cut that check now. I don't know why we hearing about this from the woman that said, I can take care of every mother in here. Okay, where's that 11 years? Exactly. Pay him and goodbye. That's why I'm like, Nikki Kidman did not go through this. Candy, call Nikki Kidman and stop publicly squabbling over pennies. But give that man that little bit of 11-year money back. Because I ain't nobody, because the thing is, you're a rich person divorcing a poor person. He needs that buyout so he can buy on. Candy is rich and cheap. That's the thing, Candy. You gonna end up wasting a whole lot of time and money squabbling over pennies. Over pennies. And I'm sorry, anybody going through a divorce, they're like, I don't live here anymore. I'm not like you keeping this joker, you keep it up. You want this house. Didn't she have a good prenuptial, postnuptial? The buyout of the home is something that honestly should have been covered in the prenuptial. Like, since she said in her complaint, this is property I had before the marriage. And I'm like, well, y'all never bought a house together. So you kind of set this up. Like, you knew, okay, well, if we ever do get divorced, I'm keeping this house. Did you think he was just going to walk off into the night and you'd get to keep 11 years of payment? That's not how any marriage works. Thank you for bringing me joy. Oh, you're welcome. She gonna have to pay his lawyer fees too. Girl, oh my God. Candy, if you don't stop wasting your own damn money right now, oh, you brought up such a good ass point. Girl, buy this man out of this house because that is fair. He's been there for 11 years. I'm sure he's contributed something. Could have been spending his money somewhere else. Or again, if you said, "Oh, you could just live here for free, baby," I don't see Candy doing that. But if you did, then you set that precedent, and you gonna have to pay that ass. If you said it, you're gonna have to pay it. I don't think you said that though. but you gonna have to pay his lawyer fees. So I'd stop fighting myself at this point. Oh my God, Candy, you in court fighting your damn self if you gotta pay his lawyer fees. Oh, but a lot of people have had opinions, and I was feeling very Tom Joyner morning show this morning, so I put the link up. If anybody want to call in and give a quick sound off on the situation, you feel free. I said, oh, it's the Arabella morning show. Of course, Candy would. She don't like men, let's be honest. I think he may have been living free for a while. He was paying for that condo in New York for a while. And I was gonna say they were together for what 3 years before they got married. So I could see that where it's like, I'm not paying anything at, a girlfriend's house. But she was trying to get him to sell that condo, wasn't she? Let's see. Hello, hello.
Hi, good morning, Alex.
How are you?
I am great. How are you?
Good, good. So what are your thoughts on the situation?
Oh my God. Okay, first of all, you just completely made me crack up by helping me remember that scene at the reunion where she's like, if I wanted to take care of every mother in here, I could. I mean,
I
that's a little
could.
funny right there. I could. But my thoughts about the current situation is really unfortunate because it seems as though Todd is insisting on proving Mama Joyce right.
After Mama Joyce said that for 11 years, did she not manifest this?
She kind
I
of
feel
did.
I feel like this. If you gonna call me something for so
Hmm.
damn long, one day I'm gonna say, you know what? I'll be that. I'll be that.
Exactly.
I feel
Exactly.
like I feel like we can't say Mama Joyce is right. Mama Joyce pushed him into it.
Right. And do you kind of think that he's maybe like, well, since you already have this perception of me, maybe I should just go ahead and just live up to this stereotype that everyone else kind of put on me? Because think about it, it wasn't just Mama Joyce who manifested this. I forgot old girl's name, but the one who was married to the guy who Kenya was going back and forth with that season. Do you know who I'm talking about? Is it Natalie and
Oh
the guy
yes,
Chris? Or
she said he's an opportunist. He likes to
exactly.
swerve, and it's like this has been an 11-year marriage, and
Yep.
Candy has gotten like let's not act like Todd did not come into Candy's life and bring the relevancy
Yeah,
because
exactly.
of that union, because she was on a show called Housewives. She
Right.
became a housewife. She has had a huge resurgence with him on her arm, with him as a huge part of the storyline, with him as a
Hmm.
business partner. It's
Yes,
not like he's just laid around and lived off Candy and, played with bedroom Candy the whole time.
exactly. Because do we really think that Candy would have ever gotten to this level of mogul if not for Todd's contributions?
Yes, he was definitely a true partner. And
Exactly.
everybody acting like he's a deadbeat. And now it's, oh, he's squatting. It's like, and for her to say, it's a home I purchased before the marriage. I'm sorry, y'all never bought any property together. And I'm sure that was at your behest.
Right.
So
And
you never had an option to live in a home that y'all purchased together. Let's say
exactly.
that part out loud. Let's say it out loud.
Exactly. And also, a part of me feels like Candy's such a boss, and she's such a. I hate to stereotype, but Earth signs are. They have a little issue with control sometimes. So, with her being a Taurus, I feel as though that is the whole point of why she wanted to buy that home first, and then never bought a home with her husband like most people would do, because I think Candy knew that this was going to eventually happen, and she didn't want to deal with that part of divvying up assets and things like that. She just would prefer to keep her own home. What do you think?
I believe it. I see the same issues with control. I'm an earth sign also. I have
Yeah,
issues with control. So I get it. I get it. But I do think that now trying to paint him as a squatter. It's like he's not a squatter. That's your house. Now you get to
Right.
take care of it.
Right.
Like
That's what she
he's
always
no
told me.
longer going to like anybody the hell else.
Hmm.
If you're gonna keep the house, fine. Great. I'm not paying for the gas, for the what, for anything else. There can no longer be commingling of funds.
Right. Right. And honestly, the thing about Candy is that she has always given me the impression that she sets the tone in the relationship. Even if when Mama Joyce was on that whole, well, I think you should be with someone who's a boss, who's a baller, what have you. Candy always gave me the impression that it doesn't matter if she's with someone who's making more money than her or not. She is going to be the one who's going to want to set the tone and wear the pants in the relationship. And I think Todd, he probably, after so many years, got a little tired of that, got a little tired of um, the expectations and the pressure that come with being married to a boss. And I think that two things can be true at once. Candy, she's a boss and she wants to run the show, but also Todd, like Natalie called it, is a little bit of a swerver. He's a little bit. I mean, it just was what it was.
He definitely used I will say can't like I can't say he did not come up in this marriage, but I
Hmm.
also can't say he didn't earn it.
Right.
Like there
Exactly.
was never anything handed. It was always, and a lot of it was him in support of Candy's ideas or him coming to the table with a good idea like Old Lady Gang.
Right. Right. And he
And
also contributed to the plays as well.
to the play, exactly. You're on Broadway. He helped plant those seeds and
Right.
get you ready for that. So, and we say that all the time in, if the roles were reversed and the genders were reversed. So now it's like, I'm sorry, this guy did not come in and do nothing and was just a
Exactly.
trophy husband because that would be a
Exactly.
small trophy.
Do you think that the rumors are true about him having other partners and stuff like that? Because I thought I had
How
saw
open
something.
is that? I'm sorry. When y'all talked about fucking Portia back in the day,
Right.
please, I don't get you. I'm sorry. That marriage was open. If y'all had Portia in your bed, that marriage was open. Like
Yeah.
Krispy Kreme on Saturday morning, open.
The thing with
Light
open
on, hot and
relationships.
ready.
Exactly. The thing with open relationships, though, is that they can get tricky if you get emotionally connected to the outside partners. That's the thing that people don't realize about those open relationships. If it's just sensual, then that's one thing. Not the bull shiny O'Neil.
That's why I came live this morning. I knew you would not disappoint. Todd may be the male Shawnee O'Neal.
Not the Bill
I
shiny O'Neil.
don't think. I also think we have to realize. I now don't necessarily. They're now trusting their lawyers and not each other.
Mm,
I think the reason Todd wanted things public is because if you're gonna call me a deadbeat, I'm gonna make you do it in front of everybody
right.
and in front of the kids. And I think maybe he did this to try to keep stuff like this from happening. Because my question is, like, again, Nikki Kidman and Keith Urban, like, also very rich, got divorced like that. We didn't hear none of this. Why are we hearing this?
Right.
Because Candy wants to squabble over pennies publicly. And I'm like, girl, this is not the look.
Yeah.
Be the
Yeah.
boss. Pay that man, get that man out your house, pay that man to leave. Get
Exactly.
that man
Like
a two
bosses do.
bedroom on Peters Street.
Exactly. That's what bosses are supposed to do. I wish Candy would have stuck to the plays and not trying to open up a restaurant. Um, throw her off her game because I think the plays the plays are her strong suit. If you ask me, it kind of aligns with what she's already doing with the music. And I think the restaurants, I really think the restaurants and mixing the family element, I think that that contributed in addition to Todd maybe being disrespectful and stepping outside of the boundaries that they set when they decided to open their marriage.
That could definitely be. Mama Joyce is definitely a part of it. Um, saying he's cheating every 5 minutes, saying he's cheating with it. Mama
Right.
Joyce probably pointed out the woman he eventually cheated with.
Well,
Hell, you know
remember,
what? Quiet as
she
it's
wanted to.
kept, Mama Joyce could have sent her. Mama
She
Joy's
could
been
have set
trying
her.
to set Todd up for 11 years. She finally got him.
I was just about to say, yep. You remember she wanted that picture, that photo evidence of him cheating. What do you think she was gonna do with that picture? You think she was gonna take it to whatever southern witch that they go to? What was she gonna do with that picture?
I don't know. I
Mama
wouldn't
Joyce
want to
wanted
be
something
on the
with that picture.
receiving end of it. Todd won't get my house, but I'll give him a nice payout. Exactly. Like I'm sure Todd has contributed something for the past 11 years. Now it's like, okay, we're parting. What is the appreciation of what he's given? Give him that and let him move
Right.
on. Like, why are y'all even arguing if you want to keep the
Exactly.
house?
Exactly.
Now, Drew and
Exactly.
Ralph, a couple that is less affluent, they have to sell the house and split the proceeds because
Yep.
neither of them either wants to or can afford to keep that house by themselves.
Yeah. 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 It's unfortunate. It is unfortunate. It's very unfortunate. I hate to see marriages dissolve, especially
And
when it seems as though, the marriage was helping at one point. It was helping both of them.
it really was. And also for child custody. If he moves out, he has abandoned the routine. And then
Yep.
Candy can get full custody, and I'm sure he wants more time with the kids. And now, Candy, we also got to call you on this. And your own daughter said it. We're also observers, but she said, "Girl, you ain't raised me. I don't know why you want these other children," and moved her ass to New York as fast as she could so she wouldn't get stuck raising her siblings.
Yeah. Riley got the hell up out of there. She said, honey,
Uh,
please, if
and
you're
I
going to get
mean,
some free
you
child
have
care out of
two
me.
young, you are a multimillionaire. You have
Exactly.
two young children, but they live in Atlanta and you're in New York.
Yeah. And the thing about someone like Candy is a millionaire, but she is frugal. And the thing that I think that's making the divorce so tumultuous is that the reports are saying that Todd's not paying anything. He's not. He just completely decided to be petty and just stop paying.
I think Jamie's given us, I believe you on that. I believe Todd's like, okay, if you want to be petty, I'll get pettier. I
Right.
think Jamie has a great question. No
Okay.
judgment, but is Candy too ambitious for her own good? I would say, I think that like she has, younger kids from what I can see with her being in New York doing 8 shows a week on Broadway and
Right.
then having been producing another show, Othello, on Broadway, it seems like like if your kids lived in New York, it would be different. Like, and
Right.
my question is, why don't your children live in New York at this point? Like, if you want to do Broadway, again, you have the money, bring your happy ass up here and call it a day. Todd has
Right.
an apartment in New Jersey. So there you go. There, you ain't got to share another marital home.
Yeah.
What, like that would be my question. Your children are in Atlanta and you're in New York. You have the money to either take your ass back to Atlanta or take your children to New York. Why are your children in Atlanta?
Right. I think she has a strong connection to Atlanta because she was born and raised here.
But what are you? But is she raising her children there? Because Riley said you weren't here and you was
You're
trying to
not
get your
here.
coin up the first time. We get that. Now
Yeah.
you have what a lot of mothers would kill for: sit down and play with my kids' money.
Right. Right. But
And
she wants to keep working.
and there's nothing wrong with that. But then it's like, okay, well, if you have a father that wants to take care of them kids, we can't really be upset with that.
Exactly. But is he? But that's the question: is he truly taking care of them, or is he just taking care of them for a 15, 30-second reel on Instagram, and then you know, because that's what was also being said that the daddy daycare thing was kind of kind of like a front to
And
just make it
he's
seem like
running
he was a
out
good
while the
dad.
kids stay with nannies.
Yeah, that's what they were saying. I'd also I don't know if you saw this, but I saw something that said that he had gotten someone else pregnant, but I don't know if that was true or not
I heard that so far back ago. I feel like the baby would have popped out by
by
now.
now. And so would the mother. The mother would have
I,
said something.
Todd gives me a vasectomy tea.
Really?
Yeah, he seems like he I like those last kids were very planned.
Hmm.
Um, he's no stranger to the game. He gives me a vasectomy tea. He seems like I don't
Mm,
want to be bothered with the bull.
right. But
I
he
mean, he's
also
a Burris after all.
doesn't he kind of strike you as the type of man who would think, he's one of those types of guys who would think that if I were to get a vasectomy that my stuff would stop working. He strikes me as that kind of guy. Like, we know that that's not how it works, but he would just use that as an
He
excuse to not want to get one.
I feel that he would be more concerned with the financial fallout.
Mm,
I
mm,
think he wants to be able to have his cake and eat it too without, pregnancy.
right, right. Yeah, I wouldn't be
There are a lot of
surprised.
men that you wouldn't think, and they're like, "Oh hell no!" They had one good pregnancy scare, take their ass right to the doctor.
Yeah, exactly. Or do you think that if there is any truth to those rumors of him getting someone else pregnant, that he's taking good enough care of that person that they're keeping quiet? Because where did that come from? Where did that rumor come from? And they say where there's smoke, there's fire.
Oh please, Janet Jackson has had a sister. Beyonce should have 8 kids by now. There's always ridiculous rumors. There
True.
are
This is true.
always ridiculous rumors.
So you think there's no validity to that?
I think that I was going to say anybody could have seen him at different stages of the demise of the relationship, it being, canoodling with another woman or in the car with another woman, and then, rumors spread.
Right.
He
I
could have
wouldn't
been
be
walking with a
surprised.
pregnant friend.
I think he probably had some sort of emotional affair with someone, and if Candy and him had an open relationship, cheating alone wouldn't be reason to leave. But if he's emotionally connected to someone, then I can see that being reason to leave. I can see that being reason to say, okay, we're done, because that's you're stepping outside of the rules of what we agreed, which is, you're free to sleep with other people, but don't form emotional bonds with other people. And maybe that's where the pregnancy thing came from. Maybe he had gotten someone pregnant in the past, or.
I'm seeing a lot of people talking about too ambitious. I think the question was too ambitious as far as you've got 2 kids that, are young, and we kind of are watching you, miss out on those young special years.
Hmm.
Like we're watching you do it in real time because them kids is with Todd and you've been, in New York. And then she says, "Well, I go back and forth." And I'm like,
Hmm.
you're on Broadway, ma'am. You're
Right.
on Broadway. There's not that much back and damn forth. There's not that much downtime when you're on Broadway.
Right.
And that's
Broadway
like,
requires a lot.
that's like saying, "Well, I'm gonna raise my kids for 20 minutes a day." It's like
Exactly.
it's giving what Riley said.
Yeah. Riley called it. Riley knows what the heck is going on. She in that house.
And so that's what I meant by, and I think the questioner meant by too ambitious. It was like, is it at the expense of the kids?
You know
Like not
what?
even the marriage, the kids.
When people are workaholics, and I was married to a Capricorn, so I love Capricorns down. So Alex, there's no Capricorn slander over here at work, right? But the Earth signs are very, very, very known for being workaholics, and you cannot turn that workaholic gene off. If you love to get up and go to work and do something with your day, then that's just who you are as a person. And so your life has to, the people in your life have to either understand that or adapt to that or be a part of your workaholicism, if you will. And she has enough money to have her kids with her no matter where she's at, with the tutor or
Wait,
whomever. But
wait.
she's also a Southern girl who probably really values structure and those sorts of things. And so that's probably why she got them at home all the time with whomever she's got them with.
Hold on. Dimmy, come back in. I think I hit the wrong button. Come back, go out and come back in. I can't get you in. Thanks. I
Yeah.
think
So
Mama Joyce would have exposed an outside baby. Oh yeah. Absolute. Oh God. Mama Joyce would have thrown a Tinker Tape parade.
exactly. I know Bertha has developed dementia, but I think even she would have remembered that that's a little bit foul, and she would have said something about it too. The whole OLG would have got on him if there was an outside baby. But I'm just wondering, like, when yes, rumors do form out of nowhere, but I'm like, I don't know. I wonder if that one has a little bit of truth in it, or if it stems from something that was slightly true, or something that got out, or maybe it got taken care of. You know, sometimes men get people pregnant, and then abortions happen and stuff like that. So that's what I'm wondering.
I think that he's probably seeing someone else.
Right.
I think like most marriages, it has been kind of dead for a while, and then they,
Hmm.
finally admitted it. Timmy, for some reason, it is not letting me let you in. It is so weird. It just won't let you on stage.
Maybe I have to. Maybe I have to get off for for that person to get in. I don't know.
That's weird. No, I've had more than one I can have more than one person in before.
Okay.
Um, I value my Fandy. Candy can write music. Exactly. There are things that Candy can do at home with her kid. Like it's not necessary. Or if you want to be in New York, move the family to New York. But it's very. I'll say. I'll say if I got older and I found out that's what you were doing while I was a kid, I would be pissed.
Yeah.
I would be pissed. I'd be like, really? I wasn't enough? I wasn't interesting enough to actually hang around and parent? Huh.
Right.
I mean,
And
yeah, the money is fabulous, but you had the money to be there and you opted not to. And my sister said you pulled the same shit with her. Now you was broke then. What's your excuse for me?
right. And my question is, do you think that we're about to see, as messy as this divorce is already, do you think that as these kids get older, are we about to see 10 to 20 years of these types of headlines for the rest of the duration of those two having to co-parent? Because it's already messy, and they're just toddlers at this point, or maybe kids. I think Ace is old enough to be considered a kid, but you know they're already so young, and it's already so messy. Do you think that this is setting the tone for what we're about to see from them going forward?
Yes. Like I said, I remember when Candy broke up with Escape.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't have the internet back then. Like you only would hear about it on the radio. And there were
Right.
still lots of interviews, lots of clips, lots of moments. And like this is when you didn't hear stuff ad nauseum. Now
Right.
that it can be an agenda. I mean, Rachel Zoe on Housewives of Beverly Hills is doing the same thing. She came on the show to grind her axe about her ex-husband. And it's like, girl, he's moved on and he's dating someone as young as you try to look.
Right.
Move
Right.
on. But
Right.
the kids, girl, your kids are 11 and 14. They know daddy doesn't love you anymore.
Yeah. The kids can tell when. I mean, the kids are usually the ones who are like, "I wish you guys would just break up because you guys are making us suffer with all this arguing." So
Exactly. It's
you're
like,
right about
you're
that.
mad he moved on. Say that. You're mad
Yeah.
he moved on and you haven't.
If whoever moves on first, the other person usually feels very stung by that, because I think that because I'm going through a divorce right now, so I can speak from experience. I think there's a point in your separation that you wonder, like, is it reconcilable? Are these issues so bad that we can't save it? And then when you kind of realize, like, yes, they are, and then you see that the other person has moved on, it really, depending on the length of your marriage, like, for example, I am still in a divorce, so I've technically been married 8 years at this point. But there does come a point where you feel like, man, those that amount of years and you're able to move on so quickly, it can hurt a little bit, it can hurt a little bit for the other person to see you move on. And I never advertised any of my moving on, because I know my ex stalks me, so I'd be damned if I you know what I mean, caught myself up like that, because it's still stuff I need from him. He's still sending me payments that I need, so I'm not gonna mess my money up. But at the same time, some people.
That and you know what? And hold on, you proved my point about Stacy and TJ. That's
Okay.
why she hired that big hip sissy because she was like, I'm not about to mess shit up with my husband and have him
Exactly.
thinking I'm actually interested in something. He
Yep,
gonna be
you're
like,
right
oh,
about
I know
that.
you ain't doing nothing with that bottom, but pegging at best.
Exactly.
Pegging at best.
going to the gym for him to go compliment the trainer on how good he looks. And meanwhile, he's telling Stacy, my interest of sleeping with you is zero, none. Like that, I'm still stuck on that. Girl, that would have been the last time he saw me. That would have been
She
it.
she did that on camera because if this gets back to Germany,
Right,
she wants to be like this was all for a show, for a storyline. That man is like one of the heads of Audi.
right,
Like
right.
they like, and I'm pretty sure he's from like the Audi family. Like they
Mm,
are money. So they
mm,
have a whole different life in Europe where I see her being like, I'm not blowing that.
mm. Do you think that that whole thing with the divorce of what is his name, Timo? Do you think that that was real, or do you think that they just said, hey, we need your first season to really, you know, I don't know, razzle dazzle, so let's just pretend like we're divorcing? Because I mean, I don't really, I know they did get divorced, but I don't really see those two being done with each other. When I look at them on camera, I'm like, you guys are not done with your relationship.
I
You
I
guys act like,
I I believe that I would say, would you pretend to get divorced for the type of money you could make on that show?
maybe she's looking at the long term because she knew she was gonna make her own version of Happy Eddie, you know, Spacey Stacy. So maybe she was looking at the long term picture. Like, this is a
Yep.
great promotional tool for this business that I'm about to steal from my girl and redo and revamp.
Ray Ray said, can't be mad at Todd when Candy didn't take her business and left an open loophole. It's not really an open loophole. Just buy him out. Whatever he's been
Mm.
contributing, buy him out. But filing complaints, he's not paying for the gas bill or lawn maintenance. Girl, girl,
I mean, they're saying he's not paying for anything, which is a
that's
little
not his
unfortunate because
house.
it's like, yeah, but
I'm
what
not
if he had
paying for
been
anything.
contributing in that way?
That's not my house either. We're getting a divorce. You're keeping this joker. You, like you said, you owned
Mm.
it before the marriage. Therefore, you're able to take care of it before the marriage. So
Right,
you can take care of it after. Don't bother me about no
right.
damn gas bill or lawn care. I'm not getting that. Where's my equity from before? And I wouldn't even be here. Cut
Yeah,
the check.
I'm sure he feels away. I'm sure he feels away because for him to just stop whatever he was contributing, to just stop that outright and then go live in the guest house. All I keep thinking about is that scene in her wedding special where they were arguing about that prenup, and he was saying to her, well, you can't kick me out in 30 days, you know, I need time to find a place and whatnot. But I think her reluctancy is exactly what we're seeing now. She kind of knew, like, I know you're gonna be trying to stick around and drag this out, so yeah, I do want you about my house in 30 days, but you know, obviously, because of the
I would
pressure,
say
they didn't do
if
that.
she had said 30 days and exactly, I want you out in 30 days, and at the end of that 30 days, I will have your equity payment. Where is the check? I can
Exactly.
take care of every mother in here. Where is the equity check? Buy
Exactly.
him out.
Yeah.
Like, why you're not, he's not squatting, he's sitting in his investment.
Yep.
11 years? Ain't nobody walking away.
Yeah. Exactly. Speaking of walking away, I just made it to work. Alex, I love you dearly. I gotta walk away so I don't lose my job and be in the guest house with Todd. I'll see y'all later. Y'all have a great rest of y'all day, okay?
Thank you so much. That was fabulous.
Thank you. Bye bye.
That was one of the best guest sign offs ever. Oh my God. Oh my God. Wait, let's see. How do we? There we go. But I I want, I just wish she was handling this like Nikki Kidman. Girl, get all this negotiation done behind closed doors because it ain't a good look for you. It ain't a good look for him, especially when you're actively not there. When you're actively doing 8 shows a week on Broadway, when you're actively proving Riley right that, I don't know why you having a third baby when you wasn't there for me, but that's another topic for another time. Well, thank y'all so much for joining me this morning, and I'm going to see you soon for Housewives of Beverly Hills. But join me tonight on Patreon for Words with Weeds and the Auntie Playlist.